Alright, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Akeem and welcome to this vlog. Here to give you another football preview for the 2016 college football season. And for this vlog, I'm going to talk about the Penn State Nittany Lions. I think they're going to be due for a decent season under third-year head coach James Franklin. Now, he does have a couple of new coordinators though. Offensively, they picked up Joe Moorhead, who's actually coming from Fordham, and then they picked up Brent Pry, who's the new defensive coordinator. So they're gonna have to change some things up on both sides of the field. But offensively, I think things are gonna remain the same. Now they actually have to have a new player at quarterback under center, and Trace McSorley, who's going to be replacing Christian Hackenberg. Hackenberg was drafted by the New York Jets, leaving after his junior season. So Trace is gonna have to step it up at quarterback. He does have very little experience though. 185 yards passing last season and a couple scores through the air. But he still has great talent around him. And when I mean great talent, starting with second team all-performer at wide receiver and Chris Godwin, who did have over 1,000 yards receiving last season. And they also have the team's second leading receiver in Deshaun Hamilton, who will be returning. But wait, they have an outstanding running back in Saquon Barkley, who I think is going to be due for at least 1,400 yards on the ground this season. Because the offensive line just grew as the season progressed last season, there was a big scare earlier in the season, particularly in the game against Temple, in which that offensive line was just getting pummeled and beaten up. But they started to build just a little bit more confidence as the season progressed. But they still have work cut out for them. I'm talking about Andrew Nelson, Brian Gia, Brendan Mahan, Paris Palmer, and Andrew Dowry, who's going to have to have a good season. All these players are at least juniors, so that shows that they have some experience and some seniority in that offensive line. So I think the confidence is going to be just fine on the offensive unit. Defensively, they did lose three key players in Anthony Zetto, Austin Johnson, and Defensive Player of the Year winner of the Big Ten Conference, Carl Nassib. So there's going to be some players who's going to have to be good leaders on the defensive unit, starting with linebacker Brandon Bell, who did have, I believe, 6 sacks last season. And they do have some players in the secondary who have some decent experience, and John Reed and Grant Haley, the cornerback. So I think that Brett Price is going to have to have some work cut out for him in replacing great players defensively. Now, if you take a look at their schedule, September 17th, they have an in-state game against Pitt. Revenge game September 17th is actually the revenge game against Temple. I apologize for that. Temple actually beat them last season at Temple, but now they're back at home. I think that at Beaver Stadium, the Nittany Lions should protect that house. No, September 24th, Michigan's going to be a tough game. October 22nd against Ohio State. And then wrapping things up, November 23rd, 26th is against Michigan State. Those three last games that I mentioned, those are going to be key for the East Division of the Big Ten Conference. Now, I think at this, looking at their schedule, they have some tough teams that they have to face. I think they're going to go 7-5 overall in the regular season, make it back into bowl contention to hopefully become 8-5, an improved year for third-year head coach James Franklin. Now, the next time to catch you guys will be in just a couple of minutes. I have one more blog for this morning. Thank you for watching this blog. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.